Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Well, I did it, Eric.
What'd you do?
I completed a half marathon, a halfie as they call them in the southern lands.
Yeah, I've never heard that in my life, but I believe you.
I just made it up.
It's fine. You know what? I was there that day, and I saw you briefly from a car when you said, Eric, I love you.
Yes.
After you ran it.
Yeah.
But you didn't seem fazed. You seemed like you kicked that thing's ass, Chris.
I was a little bit out of sorts there for about 15 minutes.
Did you get that lightheaded deliriousness in the last few miles?
There's long stretches that I just don't remember.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
As you get low on energy, the parts of your brain that control thinking and critical thinking and that shit are the first to go, which is where the lightheadedness comes from.
The last thing I remember on the last couple of miles, maybe last mile and a half, was seeing my boss's husband and saying hello, and then a mile and a half later being at the finish line. That was it.
That happens. You teleported.
It was delirium, and then I was trying to find my wife and kids, and
tough to do. There's like 8,000 people down there.
Yeah, and we're like trying to go to a certain meeting spot, and then I just called back and I said, I'm just going to sit down where I am right now, and you can
drop a pin,
come find me. Yeah.
Was it worth spending fucking 18 weeks training for 2 hours of your life?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
I think it was worth it. Yeah. I enjoyed the experience of completing it. Maybe not the experience of running it, but I enjoyed the experience of completing it and that feeling of accomplishment that I will carry with me for the next, I don't know, 12 weeks maybe.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
As long as you can carry it with you, it's worth it.
I kind of want to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll do another one.
The next big one's in the fall in this city.
Yeah, like November or something like that.
Middle of October.
Middle of October. Okay. So
there's 2, but one of them's bad. So you want to do the good one.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss later which one is the good one. I want to do one when in the cool weather. I think that would be nice.
Well, it's also a dice roll. It should have been cool the day you did it, but it wasn't. Chris also finished a half marathon when it was considered sweltering by most people. That he defeated a lot of people that day, including me.
There was a good, like for somebody who's not like trying to go all out and just trying to survive, there was a good tree canopy for a good portion of the race going through Old Louisville. But when you did hit those stretches of sun, it was quite brutal.
You got baked.
Yeah, you got baked. But I took your advice, by the way. I dumped water on my head at every water stop.
Good.
Because I made myself look like a wrestler, a wet wrestler.
Oh, yeah. You just Triple H'd it right in there.
Yeah, I just dumped it on my head and slicked my hair back like Razor Ramon.
Makes you look cool.
And put a toothpick in my mouth and just kept going.
That's right.
So, anyway, you want to hear some hot sounds?
I do.
Thanks.
I recorded hot sounds.
Welcome to Retro Great Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast about classic Japanese role-playing games where we discuss them chapter by chapter, beef by beef. My name is Chris, and I'm joined today by Eric. Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, nice to see you again. We're back for another episode of Final Fantasy Tactics Season 6, etc. We're also joined by the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live at patreon.com/retroam.
We're also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion, who recreated her human likeness as Janet in Virtua Cop 2.
Initializing Fake Net.
I only chose the Janet body and the cop profession so I could get my hands on a gun.
The terrorists are making away with the bomb in the subway.
Roger.
Is Janet P2?
There are 3 available cops in Virtua Cop 2. You can decide to pick Janet, I think, if it's your prerogative.
In the arcade version?
I think so.
Oh, I thought you just fire it up and you just are who you are.
FakeNet, how do you access Janet in Virtua Cop 2?
Initializing FakeNet.
Michael, Rage, Hardy is the Player 1 character in the beginner and expert stages, while James, Smarty, Cools is Player 1 on the medium stage. Janet Marshall is Player 2 in the beginner and medium stages.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. I've played a lot of Virtua Cop 2.
I know, it's your favorite light gun game, right?
Yes.
It is superior to Virtua Cop 1, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it was a good time. Shooting barrels and strong guys and...
Don't shoot me.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, where you can't go with a gun ever is the Ziekden Fortress.
You probably can go there with a gun. There are guns in Final Fantasy Tactics, but you cannot access them this early, I don't think.
Yeah. No one has a gun at this point. They have not been invented for another 3.5 hours of gameplay.
Perhaps.
As soon as we go there, it is time for a battle.
Yes, I brought Ramza, Sally Summons, and Horns, and of course, Lester.
Sally Summons. What a great name.
Yes.
Will she become Sally Summons as she shifts shops class later in your playthrough?
She's going
to be Sally Thief.
No, she's going to remain Sally Summon. She's
Sally Machinist.
She's always going to be a wizard of some sort.
I was going to ask you about that. If you have to get a new job class, will you recruit someone else and make them that job, or will you shift somebody's existing job?
I think I'll probably shift somebody's existing job because I want to have a pretty well-rounded team.
Yeah.
In terms of like having lots of jobs I can switch to should the moment call for it. But also I want to be able to maybe inch my way in towards getting a mime later in the game.
Okay, yeah, everyone loves mimes.
Yes.
I follow that path as well. I've been switching the new metal trio. What I do is I do a story battle and then I grind for an hour and a half every goddamn time, which is a fantastic use of my time resources.
Yeah, you should do that more often.
Yeah, and everyone's every job now. It's great.
It is. I don't know. That's beautiful. I think that I have 2 high brave characters, not counting Ramza, and 3 high faith characters. So I'm kind of playing with those characters in their various roles. So
I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it tickles me that Brave and Faith are still measurable stats in that game.
Oh, are they?
I think so. There's something that you can like de-brave people and de-faith people, or at least one of those, I think. I didn't know that was probably the origin point here, maybe.
I didn't know that either.
Possibly.
Interesting.
Evil East Forever. Our favorite musical track plays. What is that, Chris?
It's Bloody Excrement.
That's right.
And in the official soundtrack on the streaming services, it is simply called BE.
Red Poop.
Yes, that is censorship, Eric.
That is. Oh gosh, what a hoot this is going to be. Snow is falling on a multi-leveled surface. Gragaroth, what is he in your game?
Golagros.
Is on an elevated platform with Tietra, hands bound behind her back, standing in front of him.
They're having like a face-off, like a fort face-off. Like I'm in the fort, I've got my hostage, you guys are down below, standing in the snow while I'm up here. And I feel, me as Golgaros, I feel like I have the advantage because I have
You have the hostage.
But in reality, I don't.
Never have the advantage, Chris. It also looks like Argath and Zalbag are opposing Gragaroth on the other end, along with 2 knights. Is that true?
That's true. That's what I have too.
Okay.
Yeah.
The snow is in different sizes, which gives the illusion of 3D space as it falls. What a neat trick. The tension is high, Chris, with Gragaroth opening with, "Back whence you came, quick as shadows, or this one's blood makes crimson snow."
Wow. That's from Golagros, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I kind of like what Golagros says in mine too. He says, "Get out of here now. What if something happens to her? And don't do anything funny. There's tons of powder inside the fort and more than enough to blow you all to hell and back." Much more straightforward, but I love the phrase hell and back, and I will always repeat it.
He continues in mine, "Do not think to try my patience. This keep packs such a store of powder as you could scarce imagine, more than enough to deliver the lot of you to the Father's keeping."
The Father's keeping.
The Father's keeping.
Father F capitalized.
Okay, I would probably much rather much less be one to be sent to the Father's keeping than just straight up hell.
Should your feet lack the proper haste. So when he says make one's blood make crimson snow, could that be a reference to our bloody excrement? Is this the contextually sensitive title of where this track whence came?
I don't think so. I think it comes later.
Okay. Is there blood? Do you know what? Just fucking surprised me.
No, it comes later in this scene.
Okay.
So I'll point it out.
So to be clear, there's gunpowder. So he's got Tietra as hostage and also everybody else as hostage. He's going to blow this fucking joint.
Good point, yeah.
So he's got 2 options for escape. Honestly, I'm not sure at this point if Tietra gets out of this alive. I could see it going either way. Zalbag replies with his own all-star banger. "The order of the northern sky yields not before the braying of rogues."
The braying of rogues?
Have you ever brayed a rogue?
I don't know what bray means, Eric. What does bray mean?
Don't ask me, Chris. Ask the fake net.
Initializing fake net.
Braying is the cry of a donkey. It is to speak or laugh loudly and harshly of a person. Zalbag is saying he will not take this raving shithead seriously.
Well,
Now
in that case, I don't think I brayed a rogue.
I don't think you have either.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Ramza and Delita enter the scene from stage right, and they cannot possibly help create a better outcome from what's already happening.
Yeah.
Delita looks over at Tietra, who returns his gaze. It appears that Gragaroth has to restrain her sprite from leaping off the bridge.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
And Delita also shifts into like a worried pose.
I was going to say, do you think he's possible of going id mode once he sees that? Like the Kill Bill sirens play, all that shit?
If he had that mode, then he would have gone that mode at this point in time. But Final Fantasy Tactics is not yet anime.
Okay. It hasn't become anime yet.
No, when it does, we'll point that out.
Gragaroth issues his final warning for his pursuers. They need to withdraw at once. Chris, our heroes who may be villains are not deterred. Zalbag retorts, "This changes nothing. Argath, loose your attack." Argath then produces a crossbow and fires a bolt at...
Tietra.
Fuck. He shoots the hostage, just like Keanu Reeves did to Jeff Daniels in the movie Speed.
Yeah.
When they foiled Dennis Hopper's plans.
Way to go. Music stops.
It's like, what the fuck? Did he mean to do that? I honestly didn't know. Yes.
It is what they would call cold-blooded shit. And what is cold-blooded shit if not bloody
excrement? That's a good point. It gets cold as soon as it comes out of your body.
Yeah.
Fuck. Tietra falls forward, face down, wind blows.
Yes.
Gragaroth cannot believe this shit.
I love theatric wind blowing, by the way. This game uses it several times and it does a great job of
Especially when they, in the absence of music, it's better than just white noise or braying rogues, whatever that is back there.
Yes.
Gragaroth also keeps his hands held out as if Tietra is still there and slowly backs away, and he says, "Gods have mercy." Which, this was not in his potential outcome list.
Yes, it was not even on the flow chart.
It doesn't really happen a lot, but I love when you can tell a character in a video game is shook. Argath fires another bolt, and it gets Gragaroth right in his chest. He falls down, but remains seated. Tietra tells Delita she's sorry, and then Delita falls to his own knees. Another knight appears and informs Zalbag that more bad guys are on the way. 2 score, mayhap 3. A man of Uyghur's look moves among them. And Chris, last time we learned a score was how many people?
20.
That's correct.
In the PlayStation translation, they just say there's about 50 of them.
50 of those fucking guys.
Which is about 2 or 3 score.
Maybe 3. Yeah. Zalbag moves to meet that need, leaving cleanup here to Argath. And this is going to end awkwardly. Gragaroth assesses the situation with remarkable clarity. He says, "Curse."
Audio missing. He says, "Curse the lot of you."
My dude then shuffles his way back into the fortress. Tietra remains dead, face down in the snow. Delita physically shoves Ramza out of the way. Chris, the sprite work here isn't as bespoke as some of the stuff in Suikoden 2, but there are a lot of unique animations that you won't see elsewhere.
I think they have a bigger tool set than Suikoden does.
It was more moneyed, probably.
Yes.
Argath notices this action and continues to construct his anime betrayal, asking Delita where he thinks he is going. Chris busts out the list because Delita then calls Argath a whoreson dog.
Whoreson dog.
Whoreson dog. The Final Fantasy Tactics Ye Olde English Insults Power Ranking.
Well, before we rank whoreson dog, I'd like to say what he calls them in the PlayStation version. He says, "Come on, animals are animals, and I'll prove it to you." Which is pretty good, but it's no whoreson dog.
It's no whoreson dog. Does whoreson dog replace original whoreson, or does this stand independent?
It stands independent. Okay. It's got to, right? All right, Eric. Whoreson's dog. I'm going to take a brief look at it and see where I think we should start. Well, I mean, is it better? It's better than whoreson's, right?
I mean, whoreson still implies a level of humanity and a level of infidelity amongst whoever that you're accusing, whereas whoreson dog is like you are subhuman below. Like you're also, does it combine ignoble birth along with your street trash?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's a good read on it.
And that's worse?
Yeah. So it's worse, and also by worse, I mean better. Like it's better in the ranking.
It's more insulting.
So, okay, whoreson's dog versus Lackwitz.
But there is no possessive S. Whoreson dog.
Oh, a whoreson dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a whoreson's dog.
No. The whoreson does not have the dog. You are a whoreson dog.
Wow. Okay.
The dog is the whoreson.
Got it. So Lackwitz?
Lackwitz makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard that word in my life.
The common thing about 2, 3, and 4, it's common footpad, vulgar knave, and lackwit, and all those things make me laugh.
Yeah, they're unique. And I feel like the power of whoreson has been reduced because we've already had the whoreson. So even though it's more damaging, it's not as powerful.
So below Lackwitz.
I think so.
All right. Well, let's recap here. Number 13, churl, clod, squealer, common maid, wench, such wretches, moppets, whoresons, whoreson dog, Lackwitz, vulgar knave, common footpad, and of course, you've been less than we from the moment your base-born father fell upon your mother in whatever gutter saw you sired.
Argath understands the implication. He says, "It is to be a fight then? I'm only too happy to oblige." Ramza wonders why Zalbag and Dystarg fucked him in the ass like this. Argath retorts admirably, "Come, I will show you that common blood makes naught but a common man." I guess he's talking to Delita on that.
Yeah.
Argath then whistles, and more troops come skeetering up from behind him. Music trisection plays.
These are August's boys, right? Or Argath's boys, right?
Please, yeah. I think it's his own, maybe like squad or like guys they rolled in with that were hiding.
A couple of them were time mages, and I was unsurprised that Argath had guys with pointy hats on his team.
Plan rally, Chris. Objective, defeat Argath, commence. I hope he got more equipment after I took all of his away before the previous battle, Chris.
Yes.
They keep killing Delita, but sometimes he comes back to talk and they kill him again.
Yeah, that happens, actually. I got some dialogue right at the top. Did you?
Not quite.
Okay. My first go around, I got too saucy when I did this battle, and I got Ramza killed.
Covered in ragu.
Yeah, so I went back out and made Lester an archer for some rangery.
Yeah, did you have a bow and arrow on you?
Yes,
good.
I did. And I didn't, it really wasn't super successful, but I needed some extra air support in that case. So I did keep his thief skills on him, and my preferred strategy here was to send Ramza up on the roof and yell so he would get faster.
Okay. Yeah, that's practical. That's what I would do if I were in this same situation.
Hornstrand interference and Lester stole the hearts of all the women. And
people have been stealing my heart lately in the games the batches I've been playing, and it fucking sucks.
Can you cure that?
I don't know how to. If you can.
What kind of dialogue you got here?
Mid-fight, Ramza stops to ask, "Why did you do it, Argath? What moved your hand?" Do you have something similar? Because there are multiple different dialogue opportunities, and sometimes you won't get all of them, sometimes you won't get any of them.
It happens for example, I think this one happens on Ramza's first turn. So if Ramza is like a fast character in here, then it's going to happen right before even the battle starts.
Oh, I see.
So that
makes sense.
Yeah. So
I wondered if there was a method to that madness. Is that with the conversation you've got?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, why are you doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Argath answers plainly, "Your lord brother's orders, Ramza, what else? Would you have had us kneel before them and offer up the order's honor in exchange for the life of some common wench?"
Common wench.
Common wench.
Is that an insult? I don't think it is.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, wench is an insult, but
Yeah.
I'm quite familiar with wench.
Yes.
Saying this while Tietra is face down and dead in the snow has to hurt something in Delita, Chris. Ramza meets that information by reminding Argath that Tietra was Delita's sister. But Argath was ready for that one too. He retorts, "Is it not time you awoke to the fact that we are different from them? They are of lesser birth and so meant to play lesser roles in life. Such is the nature of fate, Ramza. That commoner and his sister ought never have been here at all. Had they been mongering flowers on some street corner, she would yet live."
Mongering flowers. Okay, I was very curious about how that was going to turn out because should have been flower sellers somewhere.
Some heiress out there.
Yeah. He said, he opened that statement up with, "It's about time you learned about difference."
Yeah.
Difference was in quotes, but it's still
You
awkward.
say that to strangers on this. It's about time you all learned about difference.
Yep.
Also, when Argath said, "Is it not time you awoke to a fact?" does this mean that Ramza is not yet woke? Is Argath woke? Who's woke? Who's doing a woke?
I think if we were to evaluate which characters were woke based on how the term woke is used in 2024,
nobody.
I think Delita might be the wokest, actually.
Yeah, he's got the most. Honestly, at this point, any good editor would have reduced the repetition of this class warfare shit by like 50%. I feel like they're laying it on a little bit too thick, and it's taking Ramza forever to become woke.
He's not even woke after the time skip.
But maybe he doesn't wake up ever, and that's the point. Maybe Ramza doubles down and opposes Delita's eventual turn. Who knows, other than everybody but me for the past 25 years. LOL, Fira does 98 damage to Ramza and keeps killing him. I love video games. I love when my attacks hit shields. My monk, who is Corn at this point, comes through with pummel and rocks Argath on a gamble of a hit before El Nino expired.
This is another Dorder-esque difficulty
Progress
spike.
check.
Yeah.
Demon wall.
Yeah.
Killing Argath, by the way, is your only actual objective in this.
Yes.
But even if that's your objective, isn't it usually worth your time to kill other fuckers so that your guys level up?
I think it would be if you couldn't grind in this game.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. I would prefer to have, for story battles, to have the minimal number of consequences imaginable.
Yeah.
Next, Argath, this is after some more fighting, Argath turns to face Ramza and he says, "What of you, Ramza? Why do you now raise arms against us? To turn your blade on us is treason. You return your cloak and name yourself a traitor to the Order of the Northern Sky? What do you call them? The
Hokatin.
Hoka Cliftons?
Hokatin.
Gut check, but the wool has yet to be pulled from Ramza's eyes as he tells Argath, "But the Order would never forgive what you've done." Chris, is that true?
From this perspective, yeah, he probably believes it to be true, but no, it's not true.
No, it's not true at all. Argath dishes it right back out. "Does your naivete know no end? How ironic is fate that one such as you would be born a Beolv." Now Delita gets on the mic. "Make your peace with the gods, Argath. You will die by my hand." Ramza goes on to say his birth was not of his choosing, which, like, Ramza is still trying to fight the battle with words here, whereas Delita is, like, licking his own sword at this point.
Yeah, good call.
Argath continues his furious deployment of bangers. "Spare me the bleeding. You are no sheep. You are a Beolv, self-chosen or not. Yours is a line of champions, of lords among men. To do great deeds is your destiny and your duty as well. Much is there that cannot be done, save by your hand. It falls to you to see it so, to act where we cannot.
So does Argath still think he can convince Ramza?
I think so. He's trying to use facts and logic about the divinity of bloodlines to...
Yeah, Argath he's of the mold of person that very easily puts people into boxes.
Yeah.
Like, like you see a guy and you get along with a guy and then you're like, there's no way this guy could be MAGA, but then that guy's MAGA.
Yeah.
Yeah. August would not be able to resolve that.
He couldn't reconcile that between two opposing, yeah.
Right.
He would shoot the hostage immediately.
Yes.
Ramza's defense here
is
weak. He tells Argath he will not be made a puppet. Argath has a lot of, not planned, but he's thought about this shit and is ready for any counter Ramza has. He's so far ahead of Ramza in terms of
He's been journaling about this.
Yes. Yeah, or conditioned religiously over the last 20 years.
He's been on 4chan.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on Poll.
He's been on Poll, yeah. Mm-hmm. God, and then be bored when he gets drunk.
Yeah.
Argath is not finished. Still, he says, you, a puppet, don't be absurd. The puppets stand before you, Ramza. Long have we danced for House Beelv that it might reign on history's stage. A dance that serves our ends, to be sure. The Beelv name is our shield, behind whose aegis we've long thrived. It is the way of things. People are used and use others in turn. How do you think you came to be where you are? You are loath to be used, yet you feign use of others. Even your so-called friend, Delita. Ramza in my head now makes the Scooby-Doo confusion noise. I had recently heard someone try to delineate Scooby-Doo confusion with Goofy's
I was just wondering if you could also throw in the Tim Allen.
Yeah. Oh, there's a Tim Allen grumble laugh and the Tim Allen it's a good point. We'll have to have a whole podcast on that. Never. He turns around to find Delita face down in the snow. He realizes Delita got at some point. Did that happen to
Delita
you?
got?
My Delita's face down dead. Not real dead, but he's fallen in my battle because I'm suck at keeping him alive and he sucks at keeping himself alive.
He's been knocked out. Yeah, there is one point where, and I don't know if it was this. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, if Delita gets knocked out and it gets around to his turn for the dialogue, he will get up and have that dialogue and then be back with 1 HP.
Oh, okay. That's what happens. Delita rises and says, "Speak not to me. When Argath falls, my vengeance turns on you, Ramza." Chris, when does class warfare start in earnest? Must we all eat the rich?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, right?
Okay. Just
I think.
checking here.
I don't know if we actually are going to get there. If Ramza's going to get there or not.
I don't either. It's taken a while to get through his thick fucking skull.
Mm-hmm.
Delita just threatened to kill him. Delita's being convinced by Argath shit instead of Ramza.
I view Ramza going into this podcast as more of a idealistic and heroic figure, but he's not that yet. If he becomes that, he's not that yet.
Yeah, they're taking their time. I mean, obviously, it's the JRPG protagonist. He has to come through with meaningful change as the story unfolds.
A lot of times, the JRPG protagonist, from the get-go, often has at least aspirations of saving the world or doing great things.
Yeah. Whereas Ramza just kind of wants to be a guy.
Yeah.
So now, in my opinion, it is Ramza can redeem himself instantly by going to kill Argath immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And what I hoped he would do, did you ever have to watch whatever 70s version of Macbeth existed that was filmed when we read Macbeth in high school?
No, I think we watched the Mel Gibson one when I read it in high school.
Oh, man. There's a Mel Gibson... Not the point.
Is it Mel Gibson?
I don't know. FakeNet, what's Chris thinking about?
Initializing FakeNet.
Crisp is thinking of Hamlet. Eric is thinking of the 1971 adaptation of Macbeth, directed by Roman Polanski, in which Macduff violently and hilariously cuts off Macbeth's head.
It could be the same thing. I don't know. But it's a fairly PG-13 movie. But when it comes to kill whoever they fucking... I don't know. There's a beheading that's one of the most violent things I've seen.
Oh.
That was just on TV in this Catholic high school. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I wanted that to happen. Someone's head to get lopped off and then bounce down some steps.
Yeah.
While blood shoots out of the fucking stump.
You can't do it, though.
Nope.
No good.
He does knock him out, though.
Yes. What happened to I'll trust Ramza's judgment during that spat between Argath and Delita outside Egros Castle? What has changed since then? And it's Tietra, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
This only happens if you made the choice to carry on with orders rather than rescue Argath, as Delita wanted to do in the first mission of this video game 20 hours ago. At some point, Argath could say, "Do not pretend at ignorance. You know what must be done for name's sake. You made that much clear on Mandalia Plain when you put orders ahead of aiding me." Ramza says, but Argath cuts him off. "Does it grieve you, Delita, to see the depths of your own weakness laid bare? No mere commoner can leave his mark on history. You've not the power. Be glad you know enough to lament it. 'Tis all you can do and more than you deserve. Delita then hits Argath with one. Is our forked tongue done flitting? What I'd hear from your lips are not words. Shut up, Satan.
Wow.
Argath replies sharply, laughter then, be not so hasty, Delita. You'll hear that soon enough when you are on your way to your dear sister's side. When you kill him, he says, no, not at the hands of milksop rabble.
Milksop rabble?
Milksop rabble.
Milksop, noun, a person who is indecisive and lacks courage.
The Final Fantasy Tactics Ye Olde English Insults Power Ranking.
Milksop rabble.
Is basically, I can't believe a poor person killed me. Is that what?
Yeah, I guess so.
Milksop rabble.
I really like milksop rabble.
It's pretty good. Milksop on its own is pretty good, but it's like a double insult.
Is it better than vulgar knave?
I think so.
Is it better than common footpad?
No. Like, I think if you left me alone for long enough and like charged me with completing insults like an escape this goddamn room, I would get vulgar knave out at some point.
Yeah.
I would never think of milksop rabble.
Milk
S-O-P.
Then rabble.
Rabble.
All right, well, that's going in at number 3.
It's pretty good.
I won't read the whole list again since we already did this round, so. Battle complete?
Yes.
I got no spoils for this.
It's funny every time this happens because celebratory text and music wallpapered over bleeding tragedy. It's on par with the Curb Your Enthusiasm music every fucking time when the battle ends.
You're right.
Animated cutscene. Snow continues to fall as Delita atop that wooden bridge approaches Tietra's body. It looks like there's a string or necklace or something in one of her hands. As Delita picks up Tietra's body, Ramza rushes up the stairs. We cut to a wide shot that frames Ramza and Delita at opposing ends of the same bridge. Metaphor, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Before we can approach any kind of resolution, such resolution that is demanded by the plot, an explosion is audible and the entire bridge shakes.
I'm sorry, Delita. What was that?
Ramza spies smoke coming from the castle window, realizing it's the powder Graggoroth threatened to blow up.
The powder! Delita! We must away!
And my question now is, does that mean Graggoroth just said fuck this and suicided in there?
Yes. In the PlayStation version, you can actually see the sparks go off.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like as the scene is playing out.
He tries to yell to Delita to tell him they need to get the hell out of here, but instead the whole fucking place explodes and knocks Ramza out cold. We then see Ramza vision. Observing the burning husk of the castle, Delita stands tall, holding Tietra's body with his back turned to Ramza. This is a reverse of the Sephiroth shot through the flames.
Oh, good call.
Ramza yells Delita's name and he no-sells it. Delita does not turn around, fade to black. But our animated cutscene's not over. Cut to Ramza walking alone in a snowy field. He's cradling one of his arms like it's fucked up. Where are our troops? Where's my new metal squad? Ramza narrates,
I had lived my life the only way that I had known. But when the pillars of that life came crashing down, I did not stand and watch them fall. I turned and walked away.
fade to black.
So that scene plays out pretty similarly in the PlayStation version, although the staging is slightly different because Delita and Tietra are up on the bridge from the same biome as the battlefield, and Ramza is down below slightly, and he's calling out. There is a smaller explosion that occurs almost horizontally across the map and knocks Ramza down into the snow.
Like knocks the sprite out.
Yeah, and he's laying down, face down in the snow. And then the explosion occurs up top in a huge, I would call it a classic PlayStation explosion effect.
Good.
Where there's a lot of smoke effects, and I believe there's some polygons in there to create an effect that almost slows the frame rate down.
Yeah, you get some nice transparency.
You can picture it in your head, I think.
Oh yeah, I can see it right now. I've never seen it. I can see it in my head.
The velocity of it and of the flames and the smoke and everything comes barreling at Delita pretty quickly, and it makes it feel quite violent. And as that explosion occurs, the screen goes white, and then we get a bitmap of the burning fort in the background. There's no animation, but there are flames coming up out of the fort. We get the narration that you had with Ramza. It says, I've taken my whole life for granted. When it came down to it, I dropped it all and ran. And I really liked how simple that was right there.
I understand why the CG or the animated cutscenes had to be added to the PSP version because it's a way to sell new scenes in a older game for a new platform. But it really does feel like animating Jabba the Hutt in A New Hope.
It does.
Sometimes, or I'd rather see the original work to its completion.
I was quite surprised to hear you say that there was a cutscene here because this is so well done in the original version.
I thought they should have left it as is.
I mean, even the reed whistle scene I thought was better.
Oh, yeah.
In the PlayStation version. So I think that's something to help sell the game too,
Yeah, it's something that was necessary to maybe justify its budget is look, we can do this, this, and this.
Yeah. And I think from the ones that I've seen, they are good. It's just, I don't think that they surpass or supersede what was already there.
No, but also that's the taste. I'm sure it was a big deal in 2007 or whatever.
Yep.
Now we go to Orbonne Monastery. We open back up here in the middle of a thunderous storm, a thunderstorm, you might call it. The rain's so loud I can't hear the music. It sounds like sleigh bells. The setting is right after that animated cutscene near the beginning of the game, where Ramza and Agrias, not Argath, spy Delita running off with Ovelia. So we've gone back to the future. Gafgarian steps forward and it's like, what the fuck, man? Do you know that guy?
Yeah.
Ramza does not answer. Then Agrias steps through the front door, telling the gang that because Delita is carrying the princess, he won't get very far. Chris, is that a fat joke?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
He had a chocobo, though, so
Gafgarian seems surprised that Agrias wants to give chase, but she makes herself clear. What else? I will not return to the crown in shame. And here we have Agrias and Gafgarian opposing. Gafgarian is all about the job, and that's not in the terms of the fucking contract.
Right.
Whereas Agrias, I think, has invested her personal knighthood in this job.
What is Agrias' affiliation right now? Do we know?
I think she's a guardian. I don't know, but at this point, I think she is Ovelia's knight, king, whatever government, whatever fucking side she's on, appointed personal guardian.
Or Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Much better. Gafgarian says hell no to that task, stating the terms of his original contract. Chris, Gafgarian is angling for additional compensation. I think I will take his side on this. Also, what is Ovelia a princess of? A different side than the one we were just on.
The one that we were just on? Oh, from the flashback?
Is he with Alma in Tietra in the Order of the Northern Sky, the Hoka Clifton Knights?
I mean, at the time in which we were playing the game in Chapter 1, the Succession War was brewing, but it was still just one government. So
okay, I see. Right, so it's dividing. Too many princesses.
The Northern and the Southern Sky Knights or whatever had not divided at that point in time.
Agrias immediately rejects Gafgarian. She says, I will not accept your help if you offered it. A true knight is all too eager to set right what he has let go amiss. The Lion's Guard will serve the king's justice. Lavian, Alicia, we leave at once. Chris, knights must be true, but also mercs who work for money and truth doesn't put food on the dang table.
True.
The priest, Simon, walks out. Agrias is shocked that he's not all fucked up. My dude says nothing, which makes me think he was in on it and instead asks where the princess is. Agrias closes her eyes and shakes her head no, telling simple Simon, she is taken, I am sorry, but you may put your fears to rest. We go to rescue her. Chris, that is such zeal, such enthusiasm for a task in which she is in no way prepared for nor can accomplish on her own. Quick question, does Agrias have Kimmy Schmidt energy?
No.
She's not ignorant of the world and enthusiastic anyway? She knows what she's getting into? She thinks she can go fucking do this?
I think so. It's just one guy.
Yeah, but it's a highly motivated individual.
She doesn't know who it is,
She's going back to, he's going back to a troop of, bigger guys that are, from a shadowy cabal. She's being naive here, man.
She doesn't know that. I think
exactly, she doesn't know that.
I've always read Agrias as, a dutiful person.
Brienne of Tarth, yes or no?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Close.
That's what keeps entering my head.
Close. I see her more as like a Lancelot, a loyal knight.
Agrias continues to seek the identity of the most noble knight, of which she is probably the only one in this world, and responds, your worry will find no purchase with me. A knight is oath-bound to render aid.
Yeah,
Chris, does anybody ever find purchase with your worries?
Purchase with my worries? Does that mean they give a shit about me?
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Okay. Good. It's better no. Chris, Ramza steps forward and senses the moment. He's ready to quit his second job, declaring, I want to go with you. I'll be no trouble to you. I swear it.
Would he be doing this if it was anyone other than Delita? I think probably not.
Yeah, because his sense of, he's in total I don't give a shit mode now, but now that Delita has come and, resurfaced. At the beginning, it wasn't Gafgarian you're just a sellsword or something?
Yeah, I think he's just on the team with Gafgarion. Yeah. I don't know if they came into this together, but they were both hired for this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm now wondering if Ramza's squad will have followed him this far and will just pick up with their same levels, like everything is like, is my new metal squad with me and just out of frame?
Oh, I guess at the end of the first chapter, Ramza took his squad with him and just went out on his own instead of working for his brothers. By becoming a sellsword, he ultimately rejected the political implications of everything that he was learning about the world.
Yeah.
Prior to this. He didn't side with the peasants and he didn't side with the nobles. He decided to carry an agnostic ethos.
Nice.
Sure,
yeah.
Can I use that? Can I say that?
There can be a strong belief and lack of belief, I guess, or unsure of whatever. As predicted, the Gafgarian's no, what are you saying? This is no concern of ours. Chris, neither the rich like Argath nor the mercenaries like Gafgarian understand any of this shit Ramza wants to do.
That's true.
But Ramza must go. He must know if that was truly the lead-up. And yet it looks like Gafgarian is on board. He steps out to the edge of the monastery's path, looks off into the distance and says, well, there it is. God knows where this path leads us. Pan up. Title card. Chapter 2. The Manipulative and the Subservient.
Oh, okay. The Manipulative. I've got the Manipulator.
Oh.
And the Subservient.
The Meager and the Manipulator.
Would you rather be a manipulator or a subservient?
Subservient. I don't want to have to fucking manipulate shit. It's too much work. Just tell me what to do.
Even if you were to ask me this question in an ethical vacuum where there were no ethics that I would have to consider, just which job would I rather do if I were some sort of god toying with the machinations of Earth, I would choose subservient because being a manipulator sounds like a lot of emotional work.
It's too much work. I already do a lot of work on a lot of stuff I'm really good at. I don't need to be good at anything else. I've found the things I'm good at, and that's good. I can just follow along and fucking eat pizza with the rest of the shit.
You can be a guy.
Yeah. Send me to Tuck E. Cheese. I'll just sit in the ball pit.
Are we going to find out who the manipulator?
What?
Are we going to find out who the manipulator and the subservient are?
We should try to. Do you think that's do you think those are actual people, or it's just a title, a thematic?
I don't know. I thought about this because Delita referred to himself in your game, at least, as the Meager.
Yeah.
So maybe so.
Okay. Yeah. We'll just
fun game.
Every new person will meet Chris. Is this the manipulator? The subservient. Fuck, man. It's adding Lad and some other randos, Elisa and Lavian, to my party. I guess my bros are gone. Rip Godsmack, Rip El Nino, Rip Corn.
Nope.
Not Rip Torn.
They're actually still there.
Chris, I used a guide and read you can let Lad go, but to keep the other two for access to a good accessory later.
Interesting.
Yes.
I don't know if I let them go or not.
World map. I checked my party and guess what I've got?
Godsmack.
New Metal Squad. They're back, buddy.
Yeah.
We sent them a letter. They're back. We're going to get on with the manipulative and the subservient identification exercise next time. But for now, tell me about some rumors.
Oh, yeah. Will you play the pub music, please?
Fleetwood Mac or Adele?
I would choose Fleetwood Mac.
For rumors, okay, we can't play that it's copyrighted. Instead, we'll play the pub music like you originally asked for.
Okay, thank you. The first news I have here is after the king's death. After the death of Queen Amidola, Queen Revelia held the reins of the government. Any officials objecting her policies were ousted, even elder statesmen. The empress openly criticized the queen and was banished to Bunahan, never to return. It is said she was poisoned, but no proof was ever found.
You said
shit's fucked in the royal household.
Everywhere. You said Queen Amidola, which reminded me of Queen Amidala.
Yeah.
And I saw a very good Twitter thread the other day about Episode 1's influence on Final Fantasy's art direction for 10 fucking years.
Really?
Specifically Naboo.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Wow. Number 2, the feud between Larg and Gultana. A political struggle erupted between Prince Larg and the son of the late king. They are fighting for the regency. Who will be the guardian to the prince? The queen sided with Larg, but the officials who oppose her, including many nobles, sided with Gultana. Lately, some say Prince Larg will officially be appointed regent.
At this point, I don't care which... Maybe that's the point, is we're not supposed to care who the fuck wins that war.
You're not supposed to care about the War of the Lions.
Well, no, which... I mean, it's Ramza's story, right?
Yes.
He, as the main agent of this story, and I think the one who will be the manipulator, maybe, I don't know. To me, they're positioning both sides of the nobility as...
bad.
Both are bad.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know that we're supposed to be particularly invested in which one comes out on top if they're both equally stupid and or evil.
That's
or
true.
ineffective.
That's true. Larg's side is the white lions, though, so that is always the side of good. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Last one is Peasant Riot in Zeltenia. I think Zeltenia is this country.
The home of Zel, right?
Yes. A large peasant rebellion has erupted in Zeltenia, Goltana's territory. It was caused by the heavy damage resulting from the previous year's drought, as well as the growing unease over the rise in taxes after the war. A group of ex-knights known as the Ryomoku seem to be behind the rebellion. Baron Grimm's Black Sheep are struggling to suppress it.
Who the fuck names themselves the Black Sheep?
They're the antithesis of the lions, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. It just seems like
I don't know.
You're putting a target on your back. That's
I agree.
Idiot. Jeans kick me sign.
Would you like to consult the RealNet?
Sure.
Initializing RealNet.
Hi, RealNet. Telltale Heart says, believe in the me that believes in the you that looks like Razor Ramon.
Yeah, that's the lyrics for Tonight.
Mm-hmm. Telltale Heart also says, Spotify has Rogan but isn't brave enough for bloody excrement.
Cowards.
Pork says, there are a few random difficulty spikes in Final Fantasy Tactics, and Fort Ziekden is one of them. This fight can be tough for new players. The black mages in this can really mess you up if you aren't set up for it.
As I've gone on in this game, the hardest fights to me are ones where we meet some new guy and we have to keep him alive because they're always good at dying.
Yeah, that's true. Grace Wandeer says, the bullshit about lineage and class resonated with me a lot as an angsty young adult. Easy to make parallels with today or even 20 years ago.
Yeah, you can feel like you can have no real effect on the world once you see a president that you may have voted for fucking it up.
Telltale Heart says, Ramza has lived a sheltered rich boy life. He kind of has Sansa Stark energy where knights are in shining armor and lords do what's right for their charges.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Butt Salad says, I once called a bar customer, not to his face, a wormy little milksop and felt like a fucking genius.
Yeah, like having milksop in your vocabulary in any age I'm impressed.
I hope it lasts for me.
Tell your children to stop being milksops.
Yeah. Butt Salad says, this particular sequence from the music cutout on Tietra's death to the explosion to the rain at Orbonne Monastery really goes to show how masterful the sound design is of this game. It would not be the same game without it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the sound design's really good.
I think by pure numbers, this game might have the highest soundtrack count of a game that we've covered.
Feels like it. Butt Salad says, Agrius is a little more shrewd than Brienne of Tarth. Kyle says, Briennish, but not as idealistic. Butt Salad says, she has a prestigious job. She's good at it. She wants to keep up at it, but she's not naive.
That's good. Brienne is definitely naive. But is Agrius, like we've seen, I know that the division between the sexes in this game is fairly even as far as the fodder enemies we're slaughtering or whatever, but this Agrius is the first knight with like a face and a personality.
Yeah.
That's female that we've seen in this game, right?
Yeah. All the other female characters have been
disposable
damsels or princesses and whatnot. WP says, fellas, is it gay to have a round table with your bros?
Yeah, I mean, just like in my head, when I look at the cover of First Knight and see Richard Gere in that armor, it is unfair of me to label as a non-gay person something as gay, but to me, I bet that drove the boys wild. Like people awakened something by that photograph of Richard Gere in that armor.
Thank you, RealNet, for your contribution tonight. We will see you on the next episode of Retrograde Amnesia, a podcast about video games. This episode has been a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on May 5th, 2024. Thank you, Mark, for the intro music.
Wait, you say Mark says thank you?
And thank you to WorldSyn for the podcast artwork. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam and get early access, bonus episodes, and other cool stuff we have out there. If you want to peruse our offerings, go to patreon.com/retroam/collections and see everything we have.
Chris, thank you for rebuilding the entire database, whatever the fuck you've been doing for the last 2 weeks.
It's not completely rebuilt. There's been some changes on the Patreon feed, but rest assured you will still get all of the previous bonus content and all of the upcoming early access stuff if you are a patron. The only thing that's missing from the Patreon feed is stuff that's already out in the free feed, so everything is out there, so we're good. Until next time, Eric.
We say the date?
Yes. We said May 5th.
May the 5th be with you, Chris.
And also with you. And now I may go back to sleep.
I've been thinking about shit.
I'm sorry. I was going to today, but I was too full of chocolate.
And you don't want to do Trail Tuesdays when the shits are wet. Well, Chris, I'm glad you're here because I was thinking about what my sound test was going to be on the drive here, and I think I isolated something when I was watching television. Do you know what the absolute fear of any online adult millennial is, I think?
The absolute fear of any online adult millennial.
Like, what do you not want to be perceived as?
A poser?
a normie.
A normie, yeah, okay.
To have normal taste in anything, to have a normal opinion, to like shows that people watch offline and are happy watch, you know, like TV, video game, fucking...
Yeah, like Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, which I watch every Sunday night, by the way.
Yeah, I watch it sometimes. Robbie, Radiohead's great, but they also had music videos on MTV that were played constantly. So,
but Paranoid Android and Karma, you know, there's legend. I mean, they had good one. I don't know.
I thought it was funny yesterday when we were talking about music, and I mentioned that I like Billy Strings, and Tiffany just started laughing because his name is Billy Strings.
It's a pretty fucking funny.
It is funny name when you take a step back and think.
It sounds like you're making shit up.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like Strange Danny or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It would be even more fucked up if Billy Strings played the trumpet.
Yeah, that's true.
Gregoroth assesses this. Ramza meets this information by reminding Argath that Delita was Ramza's sister. But Argath was ready for that information as well.
You mean Teta? What, do you want to say that again? You said Delita was Ramza's sister.
No, I'm going to leave it.
Did you ever see The Green Knight?
No, I tried to get Tiffany to watch it, but she wasn't having it.
Oh.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. There's masturbation in it.
Awesome, yeah. It's tough to do in a suit of armor.
Yeah, well, it's a weird movie.
That's why I want to watch it. Was it Dev Patel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good actor.
Good movie. Forgot I watched it until just now. It's a good movie.
It's been great, Chris.
Actually, I think, where does it go? Anyway,
Airport. Gunman with one hostage. He's using her for cover. He's almost to a plane. You're 100 feet. All right, pop quiz. Airport. Gunman with one hostage. He's using her for cover. He's almost to a plane. You're 100 feet away. Jack.
Shoot the hostage.
What?
How much you think that elevator weighs?
Jack, come on.
Maybe we can do something about those hostages.
We're not gonna shoot them, right?
I think that I guess.
Klutz cop. Klutz cop.
So great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Hail, King, for so thou art.
Behold where lies the usurper's cursed head.
The time is free.
Save the mayor!
Playtime's over!